I'm with Rob, St. Rob. Shout out your handle on X first.
At St. Rob with a couple of underscores. Yeah.
Make sure you go give him a follow. He knows his Southampton stuff unbelievably well. He's on Matchday Vlogs this week as well. Spoke very well. I thought it was brilliant. Before we come on to speaking about the current, let's talk about first impressions of the brand new Dell Bar. We were invited down today. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's very kind for the pub to invite a couple of us who talk our opinion. I think it's really nice. I mean, the bar itself is great. Obviously Phil Parsons spoke a lot about commercial revenue. I spoke a lot about that on Wednesday. It is really important the club find ways to invest in the infrastructure. Due to PSR, we just can't put the money into the squad yet. So I think it's really smart. The pub itself is really good. I mean, I think they're hoping to get a little bit more memorabilia up there. So I've offered my shirt collection to them, obviously for a fee. But
they need some more shirts actually.
Yeah, I think they do. I think the shirts up there at the moment are part of our CFO's shirts, so his collection. But no, it's really nice. Everyone I met today was fantastic. The vibe in here is really good. They just didn't allow us on the darts. No darts on a match day. So I was quite disappointed by that. But the beer lineup is top.
I've noticed the beer lineup. Is it decent?
Yeah, I saw here. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
it's really solid.
Yeah,
really
solid. It's a solid beer lineup, that's for sure.
Definitely.
There's a shirt over there on the wall, the 1994 one, which is my favourite.
Yeah,
the pony one. One of my all-time favourites. Just remember of a man that was here earlier on, Matt Letizia, scoring beautiful goals down at the Dell.
Yeah, well, I was unfortunate enough to be born in 2001, so as a youngster I missed the Dell, but I really wish I could go and see it in its heyday, because it did look really impressive.
Mate, it was a brilliant place to watch football. There's a man here today, David Hughes, and he used to get my dad a lot of tickets. And I said to him, I owe you a massive thank you, because my love for Southampton was built over getting tickets through David Hughes and coming to watch Saints at the Dell. It was a brilliant place to watch football. Some amazing memories from there.
Well, I loved last season going to some of the older grounds. Like St Mary's is alright. It's a bowl.
It's a typical bowl.
It's a typical bowl. But I really like going to like Loftus Park or Loftus Road. Sorry.
You've got Craven Cottage next week as well.
Craven Cottage. I love going to Millwall last year. Places where the pitch is so close to the stand is really good. But so I wish we had a little bit more of that at St Mary's. I went to Villa Park last week. I love a ground with character. But this pub is nice. I would say definitely. I think bookings are really, really hot. So give it a go if you can. I mean, I like the fan zone. This would suit me if I was bringing my girlfriend, but it's nice.
Sport Republic took a lot of flack over the last few months, certainly the last few weeks. But in and around, like you spoke about from the commercial side, they've done decent with this and the fan zones, and they're trying to put an infrastructure in place to make the business a bit more sustainable away from the football side of things.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to look at it in two ways. So obviously, you have everything on the pitch and everything off the pitch, and the two are correlated, but only to a certain extent. So in order for us to spend more money on the pitch, get better players, get better managers, for example, we need that investment and that return on investment from stuff outside of the pitch. So places like this does help that, and I do think that Sport Republic have put us in a better commercial position than ever. I do think that's really important, and they have protected us financially from PSR, which that does go into the whole conversation around Martin and paying off his contract if we were to get rid of him. But the club are putting us in a good position, and Phil Parsons spoke earlier. He has interesting ideas about the waterfront and what to do. And to be honest with you, if it results in all the off the pitch stuff results in better results on the pitch, then I'm all for it. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want.
Yeah, results on the pitch. It brings me on nicely, really. The season so far, I've not seen you properly to have a conversation with for a while now. What have your thoughts been on the season so far?
It's been rubbish, mate. I think it's been really poor. I understand, just to cover Martin, because I know I'll get asked, but with Russell Martin, you have to look at it from two different perspectives. You have to look at it from the fact that, yes, it's not good enough, and I'm sure he knows it's not good enough. But you have to look at it from Sport Republic's view. And a job that I would not want right now is to be in Mark Bitcon's position or Henrik Kraft's position of having to pull the trigger or not, because it will cost us 10 to 15, maybe 12 million to release him from his contract and pay him off. Another bit of money to actually go through and hire a new manager. And that's going to put us in a bad position moving forward. That might restrict us from investment in January. I do think that Martin definitely could do better and adapt better with the players he has.
He's not adapted well enough, has he?
No, he hasn't. And I like Martin. I really like him.
Me too.
I really like him.
You've been one of his biggest fans over the last year or so.
I really have, because I thought the work he did last year in a difficult position he was in was really good. But it's just not been enough.
It was pretty broken here, wasn't it?
It was really fractured.
A year or so ago.
I mean, we sacked like 40% of our staff. It was really, really bad. So he's done well to get us up. But as I said, on Wednesday, I still think of Saints as a Premier League club, and that's where you want to see him ultimately. So if sacking him keeps us in the Premier League, then I'd be open to it. But I never like to see a manager sacked. I think it's Nathan Jones is a different story, because I really didn't like the guy himself. But I do think that he can do more with the squad that he has. Because I do think this squad is actually capable of a decent Premier League finish.
It's capable of getting better results than it's been getting.
Well, I mean, the problem is, apart from Chelsea, we haven't really been thumped. We've been competitive in every game, and that kind of adds to the frustration.
Yeah.
You know, Villa Park, we were there. Villa have 1 win in 9. They're there for the taking, and we didn't do enough, not even to register a shot on target.
Yeah.
And then, some players telling fans to
which is unacceptable, isn't it? When there was fans travelling across the country in tough conditions last weekend. It's a huge storm.
Yeah, fans have every right to voice their opinion, but only in the correct way.
Yeah.
I think if you can give it to a player, the player can give it back, personally.
Yeah.
But I think it is hard to kind of judge that. But the squad needs to do more. The squad needs, if they really back the manager, then they'll cut out the silly mistakes. And if the manager really backs his squad, then he'll adapt to their style. And ultimately, we've seen from good managers keeping promoted teams in the Premier League, they have adapted to the Prem. So it's really hard. I'm really
in this league. We should be. Bournemouth are competing, Brighton are, Brentford are. Southampton's a football club that should be competing in the Premier League, in my opinion, in my view.
As an overall football club, yes. I think at the moment it's really hard because of the investment that we're limited by. Bournemouth, for example, they lose Solanke for 60 million. They're able to go out and buy Van Ilsen for 40 million, and he's I know he's only scored 4 goals, but he's had a big impact in the way that they play. And for us, we were up against Wolves, who have Mateus Cunha, £50 million striker, who's played for Atletico Madrid.
Brilliant player.
Brilliant. But that's hard. I like Cameron Archer, I really do, but we're not playing to his strengths, and it's hard to see. I'm just, my overall thoughts is I'm really annoyed, frustrated and gutted that we're in the same situation, if not worse, than we were 2 years ago. And I understand from the club that that's a difficult position to be in, but I do think that things can be done to better that position. And we have been unlucky with VAR.
Yeah, we have been robbed a few times.
But I'm just gutted because all I want is my club to be good. I turned to my girlfriend's a Villa fan. I turned around to her on Wednesday when I went back to hers. I said, why can't Saints just be half decent? All I want, I'm not asking for much. I'm just asking for us to be half decent. And it's a shame. But
the Koeman era feels like a very long time ago, doesn't it?
Well, I was only 14, 15 when Koeman was here, and I never got to go to Inter Milan, but I'd do anything.
Brilliant time for this club.
I'd do anything to be there.
Football goes in circles, and it will come back around. For those that are so negative about it, it goes in circles, and it always comes back around.
I think we just have to accept. That's the wrong phrase. We shouldn't accept the position we're in, but for me as a person, you always have to kind of take the positives. And there's not much at the moment, but we can look forward to a couple of good away days next season. But I do feel for the fans that are going week in, week out, because it is embarrassing. I mean, the media have just painted us to be just fools, and that's
every
really frustrating.
mainstream pundit.
Well, I have a massive affiliation to the squad. Being there in May and seeing us get promoted, going to every game last season, and so to see it tarnished like that and see us kind of shoot ourselves in the foot so often. For example, Chelsea, first 20 minutes we're in the game.
We were more than.
We're more than in the game. We could have been ahead. We should have been ahead, and to see us shoot ourselves in the foot, it's really frustrating. But
it's been the story of the season, isn't it?
Yeah, I think something has to be done. Either Martin has to adapt, or the club will get rid of him. And as I said,
they've given him enough time now.
I think so. I think that's a consensus, and it's really hard. But days like today is good because you can meet with fans and you can kind of have these conversations, and everyone's in the same boat. Everyone just wants to see people do well, and it'll be really interesting to see what the club do over the next couple of weeks. Especially now, it seems like Lopetegui's going to go, and Gary O'Neill's been sacked today. And the manager,
it could be a little, it could be like a dominoes effect now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It absolutely could be. So all we have to do is just stick with it. We'll be here, mate.
Yeah, we will still be here. We're here for Saints Spurs this evening, 7 p.m. kickoff. We're a couple of hours away from kickoff. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, I think we need to. I think we need a win. It doesn't matter who we're up against, we need a win. I think with Spurs and their injuries, it looks like Archie Gray might be starting in centre-back, like he did midweek. So if Paul Onuachu's fit,
start him. Wouldn't you?
I'd play him, and I'd tell him to stick by Archie Gray, start Sugawara and get as many crosses into the box as I can. But we'll see. I mean, this is a squad which we should be going at. Martin said midweek we're going to be wanting to go at them. So that's what I want to see tonight. I want to see us really give it a go.
Fans want to see,
I don't want to see any mistakes. I just want to see a good game of football. And I want to see my club go after one which is in disarray at the moment.
No, I totally agree. Rob, it's been brilliant. It's great to speak with you, and thank you for joining me.
Well, welcome.